All right, everyone. So last class we started learning how to dimension objects. I'm going to partially be blocked because I have my overhead camera here. We have my microphone. You take a look here in this corner. You can see I have my paper here that I'm going to be using to show you guys what to do. And again, this all leads up to our puzzle cube project that we're going to be doing in a couple weeks. So let me make this screen bigger here so you can see what I'm doing. All right, so if you take a look, I have my paper in front of me. You can see today we're going to be making an L shape. We have our entire paper here, which is called orthographic paper, except for this time it's broken down into quadrants. This top quadrant left is always going to be your top view of the object. You can see we're making an L shape. This one here is always going to be the front. This one here is always going to be the right. And this one here is always going to be the isometric or the 3D view. Okay? So today in class, you're going to get a paper that looks like this one here. And the first thing you're going to do is you're going to put your name. You're going to put the date. Okay? And I already have object 2 labeled on it for you. So then, over here, you're going to label this one the top view. This one here, you're going to label isometric or 3D. Okay? This one here, you're going to label it front. And over here, you're going to label this one right. Alright, so if you take a look, I already started to make some lines for you. And when you do this, I'm using, to make this look more like the snap blocks that I have on the tables in class, I'm using 4 of the little blocks to make one big block, to make one square. Okay? So if you look, what I did was I'd like to make a dot here, here, and here. And what that does is that lines out all of the blocks for me. Okay? So I have that there, like that. Now, the front of this one is going to be 4 blocks. So I give you 1 as your guide. So then what I would do is I put a dot here, a dot here, a dot here, like that. So now I have 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then the right side, when you look at it from the right, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So then you're going to use the one I gave you, and you're going to do the same thing. You're going to make dots off to the side until you have 7. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. This is going to be 5, 6. This is going to be 7, like that. All right, so then you have that there. So now what I'm going to do is, once I have these plotted out with my dots, I'm going to take my ruler. Okay, I'm going to line it up with the one that I gave you, and then I'm going to make a straight line down, like this. I'm going to take my ruler over here, and I'm going to make another straight line down to this point because it's going to be an L shape. All right, then I'm going to turn my paper. Line this up here. And I'm going to do this. All right, so then you can see I have the L shape that we're looking for. And then I'm just going to take my ruler and I'm going to connect the dots to make the squares, to make it look like the snap blocks, like this. Really take your time. You want to do a good job. You want to use a ruler. Please don't just scribble these out. Okay. Now, what I want to do is I want to put my little circles in, and I want to go where the plus is on the block, the middle section here. I'm going to call this my center line, and I'm going to do this here. So again, it looks like the snap blocks in class. Like that. Okay, then you go to the next one and you do the same thing. You line it up the best you can. Okay, and this is going to be the front view, which is only 4 blocks if you're looking at it from the front. Like that. And then you're going to put in your circles again on your center line. Okay, and then over here on the right view, we had several more because there's a lot of blocks on the side. So we're going to go like this. We're going to go like this. Like that, and then you do the same thing here. Draw your circles. Okay, so a lot of people ask me, why is dimensioning important? Well, when you're designing or creating something, if you're an engineer, it's very important that you know how to sketch things out, and dimensioning is part of being an engineer. So again, this is really important, and it's important that you learn to use a ruler and take your time and try to do a good job. Okay, now if you take a look on our paper here, the original one, Now what we want to do is we want to put in the measurements here. So with the ones I'm worried about are the ones that are on the top and the ones that are on the side. The short one and the long measurement here, okay? Here and here, here and here. Okay? So the rule is when you do dimensioning, the measurements always go on the top and to the right. So even on these little ones I did on the inside, top and to the right. So top and to the right, top and to the right. Over here, top and to the right, top and to the right. Okay? So now I'm going to go over here like this on my paper that we're using in class. And I have my ruler here. So I'm going to go on the inches side. And if you look and I line this up, it's from here to here is a 1/2 inch. So I'm going to write 1/2. And I'm going to strike a line here and a line there. Okay? Now, I'm concerned about the long way here. So I'm going to take my ruler and measure it. And if you look, it goes past the 3 to the 1/2. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to strike a line here at the bottom. And then I'm going to try to strike a line in the same area at the top like this. Probably like this here. Yep. All right, and then you're going to put, we did the measurement over here. You could see it's 3.5. So right here I'm going to write 3 1/2 inch. Okay, and over here I can barely fit the inch, but I will. And then you're going to take the ruler, and I'm just going to make a arrow going this way and an arrow going this way, and that gives us our measurement. So the top quadrant is now truly dimensioned, okay? All right, now we're going to do the same for this one here. I'm going to put my ruler like this. If you see, it's 2 inches, 1, 2. So I'm going to strike a line here and a line here, okay? And then I'm going to put 2 inches, and then I'm going to take my ruler. I'm going to make an arrow going this way and make an arrow going that way. And then I'm going to measure this way, and that's a 1/2 inch again. So I'm going to strike a line, and in this area here, I'm going to write 1/2 inch like that. All right, so the front side is now truly dimensioned. Okay, now the right side, put our ruler here. If you look, this one here is also 3.5. So I'm going to strike a line. I'm going to write 3.5 inch. Over here, from this one, we know that this is a 1/2 inch, so we don't have to measure that again. So I'm going to strike a line. I'm going to put 1/2. That, and then finally I'm going to make my lines going like this and make a line going like this. All right, so now you can see with my measurements I have my top fully dimensioned, my front and my right with the measurements. Okay, and this is perfect. This is what I'm looking for. Okay, now comes the tricky part. Okay, next we have to do the isometric view. People have trouble with this sometimes because they're not used to looking at the blocks and seeing it in a three-dimensional way. But if you look, I gave you this corner block here as a guide. From there, you just have to figure out how many other blocks you need. So this way, we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This way, we need 4. So we have 7 and 4. Now, I'm not going to ask you to write the measurements in on this because obviously to make it fit in this box, it's scaled down. Scaling down means I made it smaller than what it would actually be in real life. Okay, so let's put this up here. And let's start doing this now. So now here, I gave you this block here. This is going to be our snap block on the end. So then what I do is I look at the squares going off on an angle this way. I know it's tricky, but it works. So what I'm doing here is I'm making my dots like this. And now I need 7. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I take my ruler, I turn it this way on an angle, and I make a line going like this, and I make another line going like this, and then I make a dot here. It's going to be my last block, and you got to remember you're making it 3D, so you need 3 lines there. All right, and then I'm going to use my ruler, and I'm going to connect all these little lines just like this. Do the same thing for the top. Okay, if you take a look, there's my row right here of 7. So let's make sure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Beautiful. And then if you put your circles in on them, you can see this would represent your snap blocks like this. Okay. And now we have to find the 4 lines coming down this way. So if you look, there's one right here. Sometimes it's hard to see the first one. And there's one here, and then there's one here. And again, I'm making my dots. So then I take my ruler, and I go like this. Take my ruler and I go like this. Now, since it's three-dimensional, the back side of this one's going to get a little blocked, and then we're going to take the ruler and go like this. Now, you do the same thing that you did for the other one. You make your slanted lines going straight down to represent the cubes. This is why it's important that we don't break the rulers in class, people, because we need these rulers to complete our work. This is part of the curriculum. The school wants me to teach this as part of the Project Lead the Way curriculum here. All right, so if you take a look, there is my three-dimensional isometric view. Okay, so when your paper is complete, you want to make sure you have the L shape here, the top. You want to make sure you have the front and the right, which are actually very easy. They're just straight across. You just got to make sure you have the right number of blocks. Put your name, put the date so I know whose paper it is. Your isometric 3D view is here, and I just showed you how to do that. All right, everyone. So again, if you're having trouble, you can use this video to help you out. If you need help in class, I'll be more than glad to walk around and help everybody out who needs help with this. All right. All right. So let's have a good day, and let's get practicing at this dimensioning, and let's get these skills under our belts, and you know, let's make sure we're doing a good job every day. All right, everyone. I'm out.